Oh, what a week this has been. It has been one of the weeks of all time. But also, hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome back to Satisfactory now. But also, hey everyone, JSD. That's embarrassing. I thought I'd turned my phone's volume off. Please ignore the fact that I just heard my own stream there. But yeah, as the stream title would suggest, things are broken. There are empty belts here. The whole factory stopped. Why? Because there's some red flashing lights on my HUD here. Oh yeah. Also, hello. The green screen is not all the way over. Very annoying. Anyhow, yeah. We're back today. Satisfactory and everything's broken. I hate trains in this game. They're the worst. If you have to rely on them for anything, don't. Just use belts. It's always going to be better. It might be more resources up front, but they will never break down and randomly derail, as this thing says here. Also, look, this is just all of our trains right here. Why do people like trains so much? They're so unreliable. Anyhow, yeah, I have no idea how this happened. I just logged back into the server today. And these trains are apparently entirely derailed. I don't know. I guess they ran into each other somehow? I don't know how that's physically possible, though, because... Here. Hold up. Just gotta open that. Yeah, I don't know how that's physically possible, though. These signals should have been able to prevent this. So yeah, I guess now I'm going and, figuring out what I can... Well, first of all, I want to take a look around what we got right now. Just seeing what state the factory's at. So, or I guess the power plant's at. So, this guy's going to be a bit radioactive here, because these guys are all full of resources. Just need to see how hard it's... Oh, get me over to the top here. Gotta see how hard it's actually going to be to get anything rolling here again, because... trains that need to get... Once those trains actually get to their destination, we're going to have to also get them out and back onto the line again. And also unbunch them all, as they're all very, very bunched up right now. Okay. The intersection right now looks mostly fine, so... Theoretically, this train's not blocked. Trains here won't block anything. Trains should just be able to leave. That's good. But yeah, again, let's take a look at the actual factory. As the factory is... Well, weird stuff has gone on due to, obviously, the shortage of literally everything. But not everything got depleted, which was interesting. Which also, I guess, really shows how heavily utilized everything actually was. Because, yeah. So, like, right down here you can see that with both the iron and copper... At least in this first section, all of it's been used up. But then getting beyond that, the second one for both of these things still has resources. Third one for copper doesn't. Okay, let's just go underground, shall we? Oh, I need to... You know, okay, before we can do anything here, I gotta go get more rocket fuel from a jetpack. Yeah, I guess... this one having stuff is not too surprising. Well, this stuff is out here... Oh, surprisingly, this one isn't isn't being heavily utilized. Huh. Yes. Okay, but I actually do gotta get more jetpack fuel because I do appear to be quite low on that, and I don't want to run out while I'm trying to fix this factory. Well, I mean, fixing this factory is as simple as fixing all the trains. But yeah, these trains look like this engine ran into the back of this one. Just probably stopped for some reason. Derailing the entire train. How, though, is what I'm confused about. Maybe this signal needs to be a little ways back? I don't know. It's all kind of annoying right now. Just look at how bunched up all these trains are. But yeah. great start to a stream. Everything that I worked towards in like the last week or so was broken, which is unfortunate because I wanted to actually get moving on to like developing this thing today. Oh, actually, I guess something positive is I did finish the what is it called, SAM fluctuator production here at the main factory, so we can actually go take a look at that quickly before we move on. Cybertubes are fast, but they could be faster. I'm not gonna make them faster because that's too much effort, but still takes a while to get from one end of the map to the other. And my frame rate's about to die as it tries to load in the entire factory. Also, it's a bit loud in here, I guess. If we go all the way up, we can see the production of that SAM stuff. This factory still seems like it's running just fine, which, I mean, makes sense, considering we're not at the this factory alone isn't at limits of the electrical production like, I guess the nuclear power plant itself would be. Alright, yep. Bam. All the SAM fluctuators. And everything here is buffered because obviously that is. So yeah, that should allow us to make absolutely all the converters and stuff that we need to make for the final phase of the space elevator here. Not that we won't need more SAM and related products. Oh, this was the wrong one. Shit. I'm just in such a habit of jumping into this one that I didn't remember that the place I'm trying to go to right now isn't on this hypertube, it's on that hypertube. And I almost stopped myself before I got to the I still haven't made this thing loop back properly. This is the hypertube I meant to go down. Alright, the rocket fuel power plant, I guess this is right now. Yeah. Seoul building used to be basically full of these refineries. They just left that one there, because why not? Yeah. Entire world used to be full of them. Our entire building used to be full of them, and then I got rocket fuel, and I needed 4 much smaller blenders, and that was that. Yeah. Womp. Alright then. Up and across the map we go. You know, I do feel like it goes through the whole tube system faster in this direction because there's like, well, the slowest part, which is up top, comes sooner, and we don't bleed off a bunch of speed in the pipes down here. Not that we don't go a painfully slow rate through the pipes once we start getting down the track over here, but still, it's a bit less. Alright, so let's take a quick survey of, if there's one of the radioactive trains. We'll take a quick survey down through the actual power plant before we get train service back up and running. Oh, yeah, these are definitely derailed. Somehow. So, Yeah, there's a bunch of things here that are backed up and things that aren't backed up. Certain things are overflowing, other things are not. Like, crystal oscillators are overflowing, but the actual, Oh, hello there! Low Twilight in chat. Great to see someone actually participating in chat, for once. Yeah, this thing is partially full of stuff. Oh, is this thing... Is this the one belt that has stuff on it? Yeah, okay, there's... Quartz, I guess, is still fine. Going back here, a lot of this stuff is drive resources. There's still flow of nitric acid? Oh, wait, no, that's... Wait. That is something that's crafted, right? Yeah, it's not a gas, so... Okay! It's all... pumping right along through. Alright, getting over this way. What do these things do? Oh, these are the AI limiters. They run out of quick wire, that makes sense. Obviously uranium ran out, so all these things that craft the uranium are a tad bit offline here, but due to uranium being what ran out, over this way, we also don't have much uranium waste lying around in here. So all of this is just sitting here, but even though we don't have much uranium waste, the rest of the system does also appear to be backed up, as all the plutonium pellets are on the belt here. These things appear... Oh, these things have run out of concrete, but at the same time are backed up. Very much strange. Coming back here, there are 2 belts of missing materials here, coming into the fuel rod crafters here. Steel beams. Okay, what's the other one? Oh, the other one's not for over this. That's fine. But yeah, suspiciously, I'll say, most of these things seem to be quite backed up with the amount of plutonium waste they have, so that is a bit suspicious. And then actually coming into this thing's dark matter residue is what it cares about. Not having enough of that gone. But also, on top of that though, this thing's actually full of fixonium. And these things here, I guess, are fixite trigons. That's the other belt is. These things are waiting on fixite trigons. So... yeah, I mean, obviously these things aren't running back here. But yeah, all the plutonium power plants here, well, they have some waste in their output at least. Some of these down here still actually have fuel rods as well. So, actually, so here's my plan right now. My plan is we shut down, or we just categorically turn off all the reactors here and let them buffer up fuel rods for the input. That way they can just run at full force once they get turned back on. We change the plutonium waste collection system to be more fair and not cause the ones down here to stack up nuclear waste or plutonium waste. And then we'll see what we need to change from that point on. So let's get turning off nuclear power plants then. Because I do want them to back up in fuel rods. Or I do want the fuel rods to get stocked up on by these things. So we just gotta go turn these all off so they can... You know, I think you get the idea. Yeah, so while I'm doing this, I don't know if you people have realized this, but I have this week actually released an update to my game. Well, more specifically, 2 updates, because I found an issue in the first update that I released that I had to fix. And I also wanted to do something else in there, so... Well, I mean, issue. I think there's another issue that I've been made aware of, but I found a critical issue that I fixed. Could have fixed that other thing I was aware of, but I kind of forgot about it. Because it wasn't as consequential. Yeah. Well, the game, it's called Skinny Man. There's a link in the description that will take you to the website where you can get it, find out more. And yeah, it's free because, well, Partially because I'm too lazy to do anything for charging for it, but also because if I did charge for it, I'd have to figure out the how I'd have to pay the government taxes on that income, which is a pain, to figure out. So like, it's more convenient to just, you know, give it away for free at the moment. Especially because it's just, you know, like a hobby project for me. One that would be nice to make money from in the future, but as it currently sits, it's just easier if I don't. And also what, I'd make like maybe $2 a year from it or something? Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, at least the first update though. But yeah, oh yeah, there's a video on my channel that talks about all the changes that have happened in this update. Also, the previous update, because I never made a video on that one. Oh yeah, I think, okay, so all those reactors are off. We can start up all the trains again, and then we gotta work on unbunching them. Oh, I can't stand on top of these things. They don't technically exist. The server client will way desync them. Alright. Then I think I have to explicitly turn self-driving back on. Alright. I think those were the only two trains that actually directly had a problem. And this is the train line that I really need to unbunch, because there's a bunch of trains here. So I will ride this train to the point where I can unbunch them. Everything else can figure itself out. Maybe we'll space them out a little bit better later. But every other line has 2 trains, so this one has 7. Let's see. Of course, everything's gonna unload. There is an absolute ton of these resources to unload, and they're all gonna fully empty. I don't know why these things are visually desynced. They're not technically all desynced. Yeah, okay, we already have a train lining up behind us. That's how backed up this stuff is. Yeah, let's see this back one snapped into place. I don't know why the client's able to desync like that. The amount of things that can desync across the server and client in this game make little sense to me. Hopefully none of these other guys crash into each other somehow. Well, given that they're all going to be traveling at relatively low speeds, I don't think that's likely. Again, I have no idea how this happened. These things ran for like a week. Not that long. Close to it though. These things ran for close to a week without problem before. So like, I have no idea what happened. Yeah, those 2 trains are right next to each other. Which isn't the biggest deal in the world, but still should be looked at. Oh yeah, there's also those trains which should probably be unbunched. I don't think of those often, because the smaller trains there are is what we use to get the nuclear pasta for our current tier of the current tier I want? No, previous tier of the space elevator that's also the current tier. They go to the space elevator, or they go to the main factory, and are completely inconsequential right now, so. Yeah, now we gotta just wait for wait for this train to bring us around to the point in the track where we can unbunch, which is pretty far away from here. The only reason why that is the place in the track we can unbunch is because it is so far away from everything that there's a large run-up to it that all the trains can stop at when waiting for unbunching to happen. It's actually pretty good arrangement. Pretty good arrangement, but it also means that we have to have a ton of trains on the track in order to actually be able to get all the resources to the or to get the resources at the correct rates. We have to have a ton of trains, 7 on this one line, and of course this game doesn't have a way to automatically cause trains to unbunch. I wish it did. So I could say, just like on this station, make sure that there's like a 2.5 minute gap between trains. And then, like, it'll just hold trains at that one station if they're not spaced correctly apart. And it'll be like, wow, it's all working so well. Right, back on the road. kind of strange that that one power tower there is just rotated strangely. Oh, I guess it's technically connected. That's up. There's the next train going down. Yeah, also the other thing. This train's gonna be full. The next train's gonna have a decent amount of stuff on it, but after that, the trains ain't gonna have crap on them. Because of, you know, it takes time to load the actual containers. I did for basically, well, for most of the things at this point. Most of the things with trains at this point to help them, or to help smooth out resource delivery, I put buffers on the inputs. Oh, I guess these guys weren't able to unload everything either because, you know, it takes time to unload things and not just one train to the next. But yeah, I did put buffers on all the inputs so that, and then increase belt speed so that while a train was unloading, the miner could keep running while the train was unloading. Or loading, even. While the train's loading, the miner could keep running, and then once the station accepts resources again, they can just flood right in. And hopefully empty the buffer. But we'll see if that ever happens again. Although, in the case of the SAM, I don't even know if we were inputting enough resources into the system to satisfy that fully. Because I feel like we weren't. Or at least we were putting in like just enough. To the point where it was like running dry because the train would come in and cut the supply off for a brief moment and there's no built-up buffer. /Hopefully with what we're going to do here, we're just going to make sure everything before the uranium power plants, we're going to make sure they've all fully 100% buffered. And that for everything that works to process uranium, the uranium waste and further, all those are buffered with their non-radioactive products. So that they can then just work. Or so that once we turn all the power plants back on, everything will just work at its full capacity and nothing will ever be a problem again. That's the plan, at least. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to program notice reminder that there's not going to be a stream on Sunday because it's the big game Sunday. The superb owl. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing a live stream then. Did last year, not this year, because, you know, I got stuff going on. And also, the game literally would be happening during the stream time, which, to be fair, I think most people would be watching that over just random old me on YouTube. Although, you never know. You never know. Maybe Dark Viper AU would be streaming during the Super Bowl. that would be weird. Yeah, oh yeah, also since last stream I haven't done literally anything with any of the alien artifacts I picked up. Actually no, I did do a little bit of AM research, but I really should figure out dimensional depots, because I realized we already had them unlocked, I just never used them. Oh yeah, this intersection here was a mess because I built the station the wrong way, the tracks crossed over. Trains actually got stuck here once, so I had to introduce a second exit thing here that means the tracks don't cross and the trains will be fine. Everyone is gonna live happily ever after. Oh boy. Uh-huh. Alright, here we go. here's the highest speed section of the entire lines. The AI trains don't like to go above 200 kilometers per hour, so they'll peg themselves right at that. Oh no. Crap. We're gonna have to stop for this. That guy got back here before we could. That turned green at the last friggin' minute. The last possible moment that could have turned green, it did. Oh man. And then it has to majorly slow down here because we have a signal before path signal. Clearly it wasn't slowing up down enough down that hill. But then we didn't have a train crash there. That would have been real bad. At least I would be on the train though. Okay, also, maybe there's a summer sloop right there. I was looking around for those things last week. There's one underneath our main train station. Dang it. I mean, I'm sure there's one in like a cave over this way, but like, my gosh. I didn't realize there was... I would have thought we would have picked that up. But apparently we haven't. Anyhow, the next station's where we got to unbunch, by the way. So anyhow, while I've gotten 3 DMs, I will look at those later. They couldn't possibly be time sensitive. Let's see. Yeah, remember that curtain. Okay, so while I'm waiting here, let's go generate the... I can't access the codex while I'm in the train. Okay, well... Can't access the codex while I'm in the train. That's fun. No matter. Holistic warp drive. What is that? Is it the biomechanical sculptor? That sounds about right. Let's start looking into what we're going to need for these biomechanical sculptors. I think that's the next thing that we're going to need on the space elevator. I should update this webpage I'm looking at here. The coming soon section's technically not accurate as I did add fixed stuff to this. Anyhow. Click the generate, and by generate I mean download button. And I will move this thing around on my file system later. Now we will... I know how you do the duping. I mean, I think I tried it once. I just couldn't be bothered to figure... Actually, I don't think I was able to successfully do it. I think I like tried it and I did something wrong with the setup and it didn't work. And I can't just be bothered. I just can't be bothered because I haven't really used summer sloops all that much. I should put down a bunch of power augmenters and then just get a bajillion gigawatts of power or whatever for free on top of everything we already have, obviously. But yeah. Oh, right. The biomechanical sculptor uses the assembly director system, which is something, which is a previous space elevator part that we have. Damn, this thing actually gets 2 for 1. So, with one thing we'll get 2 per minute out of half an assembly director system. I don't remember how much we're making, but we also need like 40 fixed site trigons per minute. Yeah, water, whatever. But... Okay, I gotta bring up a stopwatch. Let's see. Into the tiny factory cart thing, then pick up the cart without taking it. Oh wow, that's an even simpler dupe than the one. The dupe that I'd seen was just like you get stuff on a belt that it's connected to itself on a merger, and then you delete the merger and it like duplicates everything on the belts. That sounds way simpler. But I also would have to... Do I have the factory card unlocked? I'd have to unlock the factory card. I don't feel like doing that right now. Plus, I got bigger shit to worry about, like my entire nuclear power plant just stopping working. No, it does not look like... Unless it's like under organization or something. Da, 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 da. I mean, I'm not... Oh, dang it! Stopwatch, come back. Stopwatch, there we go. I'm not necessarily against, you know, taking the easy way out and not facing creepy crawly spiders for all these things, but at the same time, I just can't be bothered to do that right now because I got other things I want to do. But when I want to, like, put down a bajillion, what are the Dimensional Depot uploaders? Yeah, when I want to put a billion of these down, I'll definitely think about that. As that does sound quite convenient. Anyhow, okay, there's the next train. I was gonna say, while we wait for the next train, let me go through the material list. So to get 2 of the biomechanical sculptors per minute. Actually, once this train comes in and stops, once I come in and stop this train, I can actually put this on the screen. So I've explicitly made this a local thing. So let me just make sure, validate once again, there's no personally identifiable information in this window. Now there's not. Alright, so. Alright, we're at 1 minute since the last train left. Once the docking process finishes, I will turn off self-driving until 2.5 minutes comes by. And we're going to be stopped here for a hot second. So, like, we're going to be here on bunching trains for a hot second because these are the trains that are specifically important to unbunch. And turn off self-driving. We have 1 minute to wait. So, anyhow, while I'm waiting, here's the biomechanical sculptor system. It's going to take 250 crude oil, 213 SAM, at least with the recipe I've put in for fixed light trigons. You could use a different recipe, which would probably be better. Maybe, I don't know, actually. You can see the rest of these here. Like 90 limestone, 62 caterium, that's an annoying amount. 112.5 coal, 500 iron ore. Yeah, no, the iron ore is definitely the... Actually, no, the iron ore is the fixed light trigons. That I can do better. Or I could swap that out for a different fixed light trigon recipe. Or, not, fixonium. No, fixed light? Fixed light. A different fixed light recipe. I could swap that out, and it would be probably easier. Okay, 7, 8, 9, go. Alright, there's train 1 bunched. That is train number 6? Yeah, I'll just look at this train and then I'll know which train number that is. So I can then figure out what train number was the first one here. 7. So yeah, that was 6. So train number 5 is our first train. We have to wait for train number 5 to get back around. We already have another train waiting. Yikes. But that's how bunched up these things are, I guess, so... Let me look backwards so we can see the docking process take place. And wait for the next 1.5 minutes. Yes. But yeah. Although, to be fair, iron ore isn't too much of a problem as here. I mean, besides the fact that there's iron like everywhere that we haven't touched, there is a lot of iron and copper patches in the desert. Actually, I don't know how much cheaper is the. I'm in a train. I can't open the codex. So it's 24 iron ingots. Oh yeah, it does also require that. Actually, yeah, maybe. Oh, you can't use copper, though. I don't know how much better any of those recipes actually are then. Because, like, okay, if you could use copper and it was less SAM, maybe that would be better, but... I don't know, what is your guys' opinion on what's the best fixed light recipe to use? I just picked iron for my spreadsheet generator because it was the first one on the list. That's basically the reason why. Any of them would work, I just couldn't be... I mean, I'll add them in when I definitely go through and add alternate recipes to my tool in the future. TM. To be fair, the hardest part about adding the alternate recipes isn't the actual process of actually like making it so it works with alternate recipes. It's actually getting the data of what the alternate recipes are, because they're so goddamn many. It took me like, I don't know, maybe that's what I'll do after the stream today. Maybe I'll start working on writing down all those alternate recipes, because it took me like an hour, or it took me like a couple hours to begin with to get all those alternate recipes written down. Mind you, I really should not have been spending the time doing that when I did it, because I realistically had schoolwork when I was writing all the primary recipes down. Although the other thing with alternate recipes is I will have to also write down what they're actually named. Although maybe I'll put more time and effort into the whole thing. Like, instead of just having a command line interface where I'm like writing out a bunch of stuff and then just like updates a file, maybe I'll actually do like a whole processing GUI that has like text boxes for everything, so it's much nicer to put stuff in. What would be the, I mean, I have no idea how I would go about this, but what would be like the ultimate thing is I use like a computer, like I just take a screenshot of the recipe and then it uses computer vision, it figures out the name, the quantities, what everything is. You know, that's the dream program, but I don't know how to actually go that far and do the computer vision stuff. That also could contain a lot of problems, as I do have like something that allows me to take text out, like grab a screen area and copy the text from that to clipboard, but that's kind of inaccurate. So, even on like PDFs, that's inaccurate. Actually, well, supposedly Windows screenshot stuff has gotten better with that, but the version I use, at least, isn't too good. And that's just the one I have to a keybind, which is, to be fair, worse than than what is apparently the modern Windows screenshot snip and sketch, I think is what it is. I'm not too sure. Because, I actually don't use that on my computer. I use the good old snipping tool on my computer. Because that's what I have on my taskbar. Pretty much that simple, basically. I'm also on Windows 10 and not Windows 11, because, I mean, have you seen the clusterfuck that Windows 11 is? Oh. I mean, I will be upgrading to Windows 11 later this year, because obviously Windows 10 loses support in October. Although maybe it'll be sooner than that, because I have, like, within the past few days, I've started having this issue where the start menu takes forever to appear when I press the left Windows key. It appears quicker, but still way longer than I feel like it should be taking when I press the right Windows key, which it makes even less. Now what's even like more confusing. It's not like it's not like the key was buffered that long. Like, whatever program I'm in will snap out of it. Will immediately snap out of it as if the start menu is open, but it'll actually take like a good 5-10 seconds for the start menu to actually appear. Longer if I press left Windows than right Windows, which is so weird. Like, I've tried doing diagnostics things. I tried doing things like fixing it, run the system file checker, run the certificate validators or whatever. Nothing's changed. I mean, I haven't tried rebooting after I did those things, but you know. And then there was silence. Actually, you know what I should do? In addition to making all this stuff, starting to make these space elevator parts, what I should do is I should give myself a proper supply of some of these late game materials, just in general for use in the factory. But, oh, I'm pressing the escape key. Whoops. So, like time crystals, I've got temporary setup for that, but I should get a permanent setup for that. And Fixite Trigon specifically so I can make a lot of tier 6 belts. And feed that shit to the cloud eventually. But yeah. How many trains do we got over here right now? We got 2 waiting on me. That might, we only might need, yeah, we might just need to do 2 more, 4. Is 5? That's 4. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? I'm confused. Anyhow, regardless, oh, I'm late. Come on. There we go. Away you go! And then the next guy comes in. Wait, so what was that guy? That guy was 2, we got 3, 4. And then, yeah, 5 would be the one that I started with, so... yeah, that'd be everything spaced out correctly. And we're getting there, guys. Almost there. So gosh darn close to being there. Only like 5 minutes away from being there. Although it should be... yeah, no, 5 minutes. So, just gotta wait for 5 minutes. It's a 15-minute round trip, remember, so we've been unbunching the... we'll have been unbunching the trains for... roughly 15 minutes by the time we're done here. Alright. And we've also been slowly letting the power plant build up stock of things for the last 15 minutes. It'll take a lot more than that to get everything buffered, so I'm not even going to bother making sure everything's on the stream. So yeah, actually, I think what we're going to do in the stream otherwise is we're going to get myself a municipal / direct supply of just the kind of late game items that we're going to need. We've already got what's it called? SAM fluctuators. We already got those. It was like the end of last stream. Oh yeah, well I guess... right, if we're going to use the assembly director system production line that I've already got set up in the factory for this biomechanical sculptor, that'll actually reduce our resources by a lot, actually. So actually, here, let me... this is why the spreadsheets are amazingly flexible. If I just like turn off... here, let's get this train on the road. Alright. And then we got our last train here. Alright, so if I come back over to the spreadsheet here, if I just turn off the assembly director system crafting. Wow, that's okay, that actually vastly simplifies the number of resources that are required. Once this train's finished loading, I will show the new required resources, which is amazingly different than what it was before. Man, spreadsheets are amazing, guys. Or amazing tools for calculations. I only had to think about what each cell's calculate. I mean, the amazing thing about spreadsheets is I only had to like think about what each cell's calculation is, not what like the overall calculation would end up being. As long as I got everything in place and it pointed, as long as I knew that every cell was correct and that it pointed to everything correctly, it was good. But yeah, see, a lot of this stuff is just 0 now. We still need 213 SAM and 320 iron, but that's the only thing we need because that's what the 40 fixite trigons per minute requires apparently. The assembly director system, which if we like undo it here, was what most of this was. So here, let's go. Just copying these values. 267. $90 and 62.4, and then we got equals this minus this, and yoink, that should be 0 now, but then if I zero out that, This is how much, well, that's a floating point precision error. That's effectively 0. Here, let's get this train on the road here in a moment. Then we can study that spreadsheet in glorious everything. Most things are just entirely related to the assembly director system there, which is crazy. Actually, I'm gonna get on this thing. I don't have an easy way back from here. Well, that's not technically true. I could, hop on this bridge here, and then take the hypertube system from the fuse modular frame factory there. But I don't want to do that. I want to just take the train back to the nuclear power plant where we can look at stuff for a little bit. Anyhow, so yeah. Besides this floating point error here, this is effectively 0. Everything else here, apart from iron ore, which has only 200 of that went to the assembly director system. Everything else here is assembly director system, besides the salmon iron, which is what the fixite trigons are interestingly made of. Quite amazing, actually. So here, let me just. What is that? Whatever. But yeah. So that way, if any of these have a 0 in their output box, we can just discard them as a whole thing that we even look at on the spreadsheet to make everything more and more convenient. Now watch as we go through the desert. Ooh. Nothing to... Yeah, most of the various things that we'd have to craft for the assembly director system, or for this thing, are part of the assembly director system, which is fairly complex, might I add. To be fair, it does require supercomputers to make, so it's like no wonder that it's so complex. I could just get a bunch of these things together, couldn't I? Yeah, I could, definitely. Much faster, but okay, yeah, oh wow. So after all of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only need 5 different we only need to make 5 different recipes to make this thing a success. And of those, the fractions are annoying, so. Actually, I need to see how many assembly director systems we actually make. But I don't think it's going to be all that bad for the amount that we're going to need. The assembly director systems require adaptive control units, which I think are another project assembly part, if I remember correctly, and supercomputers, both of which are kind of crazy heavy on the actual things that they require. So I'm glad that I won't have to be building any of that for this. I'll just have to bring a few resources more to the factory, and we should be good to make the next project assembly part. But like I said, I also want to get just generally making useful resources in the stream. Actually, I might as well. Ooh, that was the wrong thing. Considering that fixite trigons, we're gonna be creating 1 1/3 worths of converters. Wait, what are? I don't know what fixite trigons are made. They might be a constructor, actually. We'll say constructor for now. So we'll need 1 1/3 constructors of those. We might as well bump that up to 2. Or maybe 3 if that's more convenient. And then just like take all the extra from that and just pipe that into storage / dimensional depots for use on the next tier of builds. And then in terms of coal, and then we can find another coal thing to make to have a dedicated diamond slash time crystal supply. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, wait, there's a thing for craftable power shards or something like that. That requires time crystals. I don't actually. No, I unlocked that. The ionized fuel, which is that fancy rocket fuel that takes time crystals or whatever. I don't think I've unlocked that yet. Alright. Trains in. Surprisingly, these things are not run dry from the last train, which is... That's very surprising. Oh, I guess they're not being that heavily used, are they? Yeah, that stuff's not, like, streaming in too fast, so that's a good. That was... Alright, so a good chunk of this factory's now up and running. As is expected, to be fair. Let's see. Some stuff is still doing its fast flowing. Fixite is being made here. To be fair, this is a... Oh, that's slowed down. A relatively intensive process here. As you can see. Oh, this thing is running at full efficiency right now. Cool. Anyhow, yeah, we want to make sure all this stuff is fully backed up. Yes, it is constructors where we make the trigons. Okay, cool. Wow, okay. But, wait, I mean, I'm just gonna look at the ratios here instead of in-game instead of the spreadsheet. Because I feel like it. Okay. Wait, they're 1-to-1? So one converter to one of these? Yeah, okay. Interesting. These things aren't stressed too much right now. They were, to be fair, fine beforehand. This stuff is going to take a while to churn through all of its output, considering everything down here needs to be able to... Well, these things need the steel that they request. And these things are slow, at least. Anyway, they only take 7.5 cells per minute, so... That's going to take a while. And then these things... as well. I mean, the power production should be slightly higher right now than it was before. It's still all over the place. That's fun. Considering none of those things are running right now. It's entirely these things, which I guess are... I guess that's part of the problem, is that these things are still not consistently getting the fuel rods that they deserve, or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. The Fixonium might also be an issue, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, but yeah, this thing is we're just gonna let this stuff run out to its a neutral state that doesn't have very much radioactive product past the first set of power plants. This thing needs 4 summer sleeps for an output multiplier, dang. Oh yeah, these things aren't getting the trigons fast enough. I wonder why that is. Anyway. Anyhow, yeah, we will now, therefore, leave this entire thing alone for a while and head back to the factory. It would be an interesting touch is if when you turn like a building off, instead of there being like a green, yellow, red, whatever the heck this indicator thing is, it just turned off. Because, you know, you turn the factory off, it should all go off. Trains are running Yeah, the rest of them can be unbunched a bit later. They will potentially get a little bit naturally unbunched, maybe? Or maybe they'll get naturally bunched. I don't know. Regardless, hopefully that's the nuclear power plant fixed for now. So yeah. Can I open the codex in here? I can. Let me make sure that the biomechanical whatever the heck is, yeah, this is the next object. Yeah, okay. Doesn't actually seem that hard. Why is the summer sloop at the bottom here? It actually makes no sense. Why is the order of this stuff suddenly different? And Fixmas gift is still on here. Interesting. Very strange. Very, very strange. And in I go. So, how many assembly director systems are we capable of making per minute? What floor was that on? Was it this one? Actually, maybe, because we have the stupid thruster here, the thermal propulsion rocket, which it might be necessary for this. No, wait, that's not it. Ballistic warp drive. It's necessary for the ballistic warp drive. Yeah, that seems a tad bit more complex. We're gonna need like a dedicated factory for the ballistic warp drive. That is 100% the case. Got this fancy factory here for... Or at least we're gonna need a lot of space for that. We could theoretically build it in this factory. There's definitely no problem in doing that. I'm on the wrong floor though. Dang it. Take me down. Here we are. Here's our stockpile assembly direct, and we're making half per minute. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. How much do we have? Only 2,362 fix-it coupons. Such a shame. Anyhow. Hello, whatever you are. And now we're gonna go... Okay, well, okay. Before I get into anything serious here, I'm gonna quickly take a bathroom break. So, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, but I need to fix the green screen that I bumped on my way out. Oh, see, this is great, guys. Absolutely great. It's so well designed, so well made. There's a big old hole on that side here. Okay. All right, how does that look? Did I get it? I think I got it. Okay. Whew. That was kind of annoying there. Alright, anyhow. Satisfactory. Let's satisfactorize. Alright, so... Alright, before I get into building the next project part here, which is a very simple build, actually. Let's go up to the roof so I can actually show off my current quick and dirty, my quick and dirty time crystal situation here. Very quick and dirty. I take spare coal from elsewhere in the factory that is technically fully provisioned, but I wasn't using any of it. Storage and giant diamond thingy here. Buzzing on my phone. Ooh, wow. Well, I guess I won't be doing anything else on stream. But anyhow, yeah, I can show this out quickly. Yeah, then we make time plus here. Actually, I want to check what is the ionized fuel cost in the MAM. I think it's like 100 power shards or something like that. Which means I have to craft 100 power shards. It's gonna be sulfur. Well, I mean, I guess I have to do this, which I should build just a MAM at the nuclear power plant for that. Yeah, 100 power shards. Alright, but anyhow, my phone buzzing has told me that it is therefore time to end the stream after only an hour. Dang, that is early today. But regardless, we fixed it, I guess. So good, stream objective finished. But anyhow, yes, I'm gonna say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you've been notified of future streams just like this one. Do the other things that you do to channel. Check out my game. Again, linked in the description. And I see you all in the next live stream, which is going to be a week from now. So,